Everyone, we're back. Super exciting. Welcome back to Tales from the Table Studios. We cannot wait to get to tonight's episode of Rega, Shadow of the Dragon. But before we do, our first Pathfinder game too, which is super exciting because fuck Wizards of the Coast. Before we do, a couple things to go over. First, if you like what you see here, there are a bunch of ways that you can check in with us, our amazing cast, and a whole bunch of other amazing people too, because we have a Discord. You can go check out our Discord. The link is down below. Over there, you'll find a whole bunch of amazing people who are always down to talk about games, ideas, world building, crafting, and random other stuff. We had a whole 2 months of just talking about leverage. So anything and everything does come up. Definitely check it out. That's also the best place to get updates, announcements, information, first shots at casting for our shows and things like that. That's all there. So go check that out. Also, you can check out our YouTube, which should also be linked below. That's our archive for everything. If you want to check out all of our games, that's where you can do it once they leave VOD. We're a little bit behind on certain stuff, but that's going to be updated this weekend, thankfully, because we've finally gotten over some of the issues that were keeping us from doing so. So keep an eye there. Check those out. We've got a bunch of one-shots, a bunch of previous episodes for this show, which you can also find over on Jack's YouTube, which we'll get to in a minute, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So check that out. Also, if you want to support us, there is a couple ways to do so. Obviously, there's the subscribe button that you can click that will help us out a little bit. But if you want to support us and not give Amazon money, which I'm always cool with, we have a Ko-Fi. You can go check out our Ko-Fi. That should also be linked below. And there you'll find a whole bunch of cool stuff. There's a number of different ways that you can support us. We have a number of membership tiers, which include things like naming rights for NPCs and locations, access to our behind the scenes talk shows that we do once a month for every show that we run. It's a good opportunity to see the thought process that goes into the stories that are being told, the character decisions that are being made, and more. We also have at its highest tier the ability to once a month win a raffle that will allow you to have a custom character built. If it's in a system that we know, great. If it's not, we're always down to learn new systems. We'll put it together for you, write up a backstory to your parameters, help with any important NPCs that are involved in their life, and what I think is the coolest part, it will include a custom piece of art for your character by our own in-house artist, Miss Moon. So that's super cool. Definitely check that out. If you want to be involved with some of the cool stuff we make, but don't have the opportunity to support us financially, that's cool too. There's a bunch of cool free stuff on our Ko-Fi. We've got a Kids on Bikes module themed after Five Nights at Freddy's called One Night at Ollie's. We've got some maps. We got all our updates go up there, including posts on some of the projects we're working on, some of the shows that we're working on, and more. It's a really cool way to stay involved and informed. You can also do that over on our Twitter, which currently is at the Lion Knight 42, where we also post all our updates and information. Speaking of updates, one of the things I'm most excited about is we've announced Days of Tales 2, a charity event that we're going to be running March 24th through the 26th, raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. It's going to be 3 days of actual plays, panels, giveaways, and more. Come check that out. And if you're interested in being involved, I'm pretty sure over in the chat in a minute it should pop up. We have a casting form. You can sign up right now to be involved as a player, as a GM, or in any other capacity that you might be interested in joining us for. So feel free to do that. I'm going to make sure it pops up in the chat in a second. Sorry for the delay on that, but it's really exciting, very hyped. Can't wait to get there. And with that, I think I said everything that I have to say right now. So I'm going to pass it off to Jack, our amazing GM.
Well, I hope I will remain amazing. I hope I have been amazing. I don't know about all that. Anyway.
I do.
Thanks. What I'm going to do first, of course, is hand it round the table to my indubitably, undebatably amazing players, starting with Rev.
Hi, I'm Rev. I swear that I'm not a squirrels in a mech and that I am awake and conscious. I play Oldie, who is a very bizarre little halfling who knows more than it's healthy for him or probably anybody around him, especially with the Pathfinder 2 changeover. Oldie will be showing a bit more of that old collegiateness um, as that comes out. And I'm on Twitter and Dice Camp and Spoutable as Thought Punks. You can find us there. We make games. It's really fun. Right now, we're running a crowdfunder so that I can pay off all the people who have interests and stuff and open everything up under completely open license, Creative Commons attribution. So there we go. I think that's everything. If I forgot anything, I'll remember at the end or next time.
And next up, our marvelous Digital Crow.
Hello, I am Dell, Digital Crow. I am here for the most part. I have a Twitter at digitalcrow_Dell. I'm on there randomly. I make games, I play games, I build worlds. I'm currently in the process of designing a graphic novel / game system / book thing, sci-fi fantasy. But mostly I'm just here. So, hello.
And our next contestant, Justina.
Hi, I'm Justina. You can find me on Justina Revolution over on Twitter. And I am working on currently a series of random roll tables for Game Masters to make plots from. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm playing Florenta, the much changed rogue. I mean, it's just like something feels different. So, all right.
And last, well, not last, almost last, but definitely not least, the Q Bearer.
It's me. Oh my God, I didn't even know we were doing this today. Hi, I'm Q. You can find me on Twitter at midnight_Inc. That's INQ. Q's my name. I hope you get it. Playing Cole. I know Cole in the 80s. He is a cleric, and he's on fire. We got a new system, so that's what I got for you. It's pretty fun, I think. We're still learning. Bear with me.
All right. Drake has done some talking already, but what he has not done is introduce himself in the context of this game.
Hi, that's me, I believe. I'm
Last time I checked.
Yeah, I'm Lion. I play Abellis, who I can no longer call the Sorlock, unfortunately, but is still definitely about two minds over everything, and has quite the journey ahead of him. But at least now he has a good drinking companion, so that's.
And with that, I welcome you back to the successor states of Rega, the Shadow of the Dragon. Tonight, our heroes labor under the shadow of greed. And it may be that they find their way into the tomb of avarice. As a little bit of a recap, they had discovered some evidence that the mystic crown they were looking for, the crown of avarice, the crown, second of 7 crowns, tied to the deadly sins and thus tied to the 7 layers of hell, was to be found under their own dwelling place, under the town of Bersovia. And they know now that these crowns are active and that they have brought the crown of sorrow to the temple in Bersovia to be protected against the forces of evil that will want to reclaim it. They also discovered a hidden passage behind one of the statues in the church leading down into the crypts. After some investigation to determine if they could discover where these crypts might be. And apparently these crypts are everywhere under the town. But this secret passage leads into a sealed off area that even the Undertaker priest has never been into. I believe we last left our heroes with the massive, mighty Spartoy, Luca, headed back toward the inn and tavern, possibly to make contact with and have a conversation with Florenta Nicolae, our young noble thief. I believe that Cole and Oldie had made their way to the forge to settle in for the evening. And the last time I checked, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Abelis was also at the inn drinking with Florenta.
Yes, yes.
To us,
Because
the
we are
idiots.
idiots.
Yes.
To
We
us,
will, in
the
fact-
idiots.
We will, in fact, at that point, therefore, rejoin our party. Just as Luca enters the door of the tavern, which is a homey, smoky place filled with the smell of drink and the smell of sweet tobaccos and the smell of good food. It is not full of the smell of unwashed people because the people here are far more civilized than that. And the inn is an inn of some repute, so it is not in itself dirty. It is, however, very lively. As well, it is not the only tavern in town, it is the only inn. We can see Abelis and Florenta drinking at a table when the massive form of Luca strides through the door.
Luca will come in and look around, seemingly looking for Florenta, and once they spot her, they will make their way over and stand next to the table, their hands kind of smoothing down their armor. I have been made aware of things, and I was hoping that were you acquiesceable, that you would give me a moment to explain things on my behalf. I understand that I am not owed this in any form or fashion, but if you are willing to, I would like to express myself, and obviously allow you to do so. Your anger is valid, but I want to make sure that we are able to be amenable once more if possible.
Okay, so Florenta is going to reach back to her upbringing and kind of get the that sort of haughty, disdainful, noble addressing someone. It's like, you may speak.
Trash.
I think there is an audible like laugh from Abelis, who, as I remember correctly, is still at the table.
Oh yeah, no, you're there. It's okay.
Many of the nearby tables go quiet.
So once again, kind of like smoothing down the armor. I am not smart. I am, in fact, many would call a joyful idiot. And I get this about myself. And what I did not get about myself is that it has an impact on others. I have been alone for a very, very, very long time. I'm not used to companions. I'm not used to having people to worry about more than a short period of time for jobs and such. This experience for me isn't simply about being a person, because I'm not. It is about the fact that I hurt you with what I thought was a joke. and that is not okay. The joke wasn't supposed to be at your expense, but I recognize that it was. And for that, I am deeply regretful for any pain or anger or anything that I may have caused you, once again, that you are fully justified to, and I will take the full brunt of that for however long you wish that. But we feel things differently. We experience things differently. I go through life differently than any species that I've run across. I cannot express to you a feeling of affection that is more than what has occurred, because it is not something that I may even have the capacity towards, and I don't think that it is right of me, nor was it right of me, to play that on the table. I am saying a lot of words, and I am concerned that I am now simply talking and that you are not, and that it might make you more mad, and I don't want to do that. I am not smart, but I am very, very sorry.
Florenta takes a moment. She's looking at her drink while you're talking, and she's like, it's all right. I just was thinking you were very interesting and very lovely to be around, and I misinterpreted how things are. I am not used to being around Spartoi and tomb elves and and other such things. I apologize for throwing your ring in your face.
Well, it's yours. I got it for you because it was pretty, and you like pretty things, and
Yes. Although if you are not you said you are not a person. How can you not be a person but we are talking?
Like,
Oh, that's easy. It's called self-loathing.
Oh, I don't know why you loathe yourself. I think you're actually really nice when you are not being thoughtless.
I am learning to be nice, and I am learning to be more of a person who is here, because I don't spend my time thinking about what is here. I am already waiting for what happens after I die.
Yes, you are waiting to die. I am Scarian. We are born waiting to die.
Then we have this in common. And
yes, it seemed like a good match, and I accepted your proposal. So,
all this talk of waiting to die, you miss out on all of the things that happened before then. Worry about what happens when you die. When you die, come on.
I'm not worried about it. That's the thing. I'm not
Even
worried about
less,
it. But
even less of a reason to think about it.
kind of easy from somebody's perspective.
Abellis, would you mind drinking your drink while I talk to Luca?
Have that.
I swear, the undead or whatever he is, you are very confusing. So Luca, I would like to propose that we attempt to get to know one another in a less, oh God, we are all going to die way.
We're about to go down into the catacombs.
Yes, well, I mean, we are not going to be considering it. We are talking about this when no one is trying to kill us. She looks around the tavern at the moment. I mean, you must understand, you married me the instant we were walking into a tomb filled with horrible, horrible undead, and I almost died in a wall.
That's fair. Then I would enjoy the opportunity to get to learn you in a way that is not that one or both of us will be dead very soon.
All right, so we will, as Abolus has said, we will not worry about when we are going to die and try to do things before death. And when one of us dies, the other will be very sad for a few days and then go on and do something else, correct?
Yes?
I mean, this seems to be a reasonable thing.
Well, I hope that you wouldn't be sad. I don't
Well,
want
I
to
mean,
make you
everyone
sad.
is going to be sad. I mean, I had a puppy once. It died. I was very sad.
Why?
Because it's not there anymore. And then, of course, you know, eventually none of us will be here anymore.
Right, so why is that a sad thing?
Well, I mean, you know, it's just like, I do not feel the puppy nuzzling my hand anymore. Come on, surely you have been upset when you've eaten something and, oh no, there is no more.
Well, then I would get more.
Well, yes, I mean, and you live for like what, millions and millions of years or something, and
I don't know. We die probably sooner than anybody would actually know how long we live.
oh well, that's fair. Like Scarians, you see.
I wonder if Scarians are another species. They seem to be different than some of the humans I've met. At least you are.
Maybe. Uh-huh. Well, thank you.
I'm
All right,
sorry for being
Isabellis,
an
you can talk again.
No, I think I have said everything I need to and heard quite enough more. And Abellis is going to finish his drink, aggressively put it on the table, push himself away from the table, and walk out of.
No. You can't leave yet.
You. Why?
Did we just anger Abellis? I'm sorry.
Why can I
No,
not?
and they will point to baby dragon nesting on their shoulder. We have to come up with a name. They
Why?
can't just go around nameless.
Fantastic. It seems like you've got that handled.
We. It's like a two-person thing. We both made them.
The tiny butterfly-winged dragon bats its little eyes at the two of you and looks back and forth.
They will like
Not
push
entirely
the
certain
face
what's
up
going
against
on,
theirs. Look how cute it is.
Well, considering the way everything went, you are more than welcome to take it upon yourself to name them as you wish, teach them all of the magical, wonderful things about the world. I, however, have no interest in being involved in whatever this is supposed to be or become or whatever you, he says as he motions towards the dragon, this is wonderful and good for you. I don't know what it is that makes you think that I would have any interest in doing this or any investment in it, but if I'm being perfectly honest, and perhaps too honest because I've had quite a few drinks at this point, what I see is less something miraculous and amazing and more a reminder of all of the things that are, how to put it bluntly, all of the things that I can't do by myself. Yes? Wonderful. Anything else I can do to help?
You sound a lot like my father when he drinks.
Oh.
I'm going to name them Maclum. And they'll speak in Draconic so that he can be given the choices that we never had.
Of course. How poetic. He responds in Draconic.
They'll hold up a glass.
In quiet Draconic, the little fairy dragon, the little red fairy dragon says, "Did I do something to make you mad?"
No. And with that, I think he does turn and walk away.
The little dragon buries his face in Luca's shoulder.
So like we'll grab a pitcher of ale, bring it to the table, hold up a mug.
What did he say to the little tiny dragon?
That he's sour and old and rude. His name is Aklam.
Hello, Aklam.
Hello. I like the name. Thank you, Luca.
It's okay. Sometimes, when you're that old, you forget what manners are.
He's still got better manners than the White Queen.
I imagine that's not a very high bar now, is it?
Well, no. No. Meanwhile, we turn our attention to the area surrounding the forge, where Cole and Oldie are settling in, to see what sort of conversation they might be having just before they settle down for bed.
So Cole first, of course, would have introduced Oldie to the smith and his lady love. That's what we're gonna say. Uh, I don't know if they're putting like titles on that, but you know, uh, the lovely Cole is nervous and has sort of put that nervous energy into trying to make up the space near the forge, like try to make it up nice, which is impossible. It's just like a cot and like a blanket, probably.
So in my head, like Cole is like yeah, it's just like the cot, like the cot and like a little nightstand or whatever. But I can admit, like in my head, Cole is like rearranging like little little like pretty shaped lumps of slag on the nightstand to like you would like a set of candles or
Yeah, and he's probably moved like the cot like 3, 4 times at this point, just looking for the proper like
Cole,
position.
It's
Yeah, and
fine.
it's
No, that looks good. It looks good.
no, it's just no, it's
Relax.
just that we need to make sure that there's enough room for the both of us.
Oh, okay.
Just one moment. Just um like so he's got darker skin, so you can't really see the blush, but his hair is more erratic. It's flickering more erratically than normal. Um, but eventually, he will stop. There's just that deep breath. I don't know why this felt different. Um, we Cuddled. There you go. That would be the word. In the cave.
Because it's
So,
home. Home always
I
makes it feel different.
I mean, it's not really home, but it is the closest for home. It's the place where the
Oldie gets a
forge
really
is.
horrified, panicked look all of a sudden on his face at that point. The Forge Master is dwarven, right, Jack?
No, the forge master's
Correct.
human.
No, he is
Oh,
not.
he's
he's
human.
human. He's a
He's
human.
human,
Yeah.
but he's part dwarf. Master Bogdan
Right.
and his lady, Mistress Ilyana.
Right.
Oh man. Uh uh okay, I'm not
What just
super
happened?
familiar with Forge stuff.
Why did you
And
make that
like
face?
his people, like am I fucking up a hospitality thing?
No, you're not
Okay,
messing up
okay,
any.
okay.
No, it's fine. Ah, goodness. My
Mistress
nervousness
Ilyana
made you
did.
nervous. Yep. Mhm.
Mistress Ilyana did bring an extra pillow and a blanket, but nothing more than that.
Mhm.
Because one, they didn't have a whole lot else, and two, she figured if he was willing to come here to sleep in this area to begin with, he must have similar sensibilities to yours, and she did not want to offend him by implying otherwise.
Right. Um. uh, It takes a moment. Takes a deep breath. Thank you for coming. Um, I know it's not nearly as comfortable as an inn, like
Oh,
a tavern bed will be,
you
but
gotta remember,
it's
I grew up out in the sticks. Not one of them fancy city bards that needs to sleep on on fluffy feathers or whatever.
I I can't do that. I have tried, and it is extremely uncomfortable.
Don't
I
the ends of the
feel
feathers keep poking into you?
right, and you just sink into the well. I
Yeah,
sink
you're
into the
just
bed.
sinking in. It's poking you. How is that supposed to be nice?
It's not, and I don't understand. Um, but so this is not home. The home is the church, not here back a ways. But
Why do you stay in the forge instead of the church then? I don't know if I've ever actually asked that question, and I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. This is still new. I stay in the forge because I feel closest to Ignia here. The temples, the churches are nice, but those are shared, those are communal places. But here in the forge, it is just her.
That makes a lot of sense to me. People get very weirded out by the way I relate to Volpos and Lunos. And
You bare your neck.
well, it's a primal thing. It's
It's an
an
animal.
animal thing. Yeah.
No, I get it. I
But no, I mean like I like that you feel the same way about your gods that I do about mine because it's not common.
yes.
It makes this place feel warmer to me.
Good. Um, one of his hands alights with flame. Um, and he just sort of puts it, you know, just over where something can catch, and it warms the room up a little bit more. Uh, I The bed is the cot. Is not comfortable, but the warmth will help against the cold.
Mm. I think wherever you're resting will be comfortable for me. You've given me much comfort in places far less comfortable.
And you have done the same for me. I am again, I am new to all of this. This that isn't praying. So thank you for being so patient and understanding when the talk of how sexy I am can be a bit overwhelming at times.
Well, I mean, you are,
I
but also, I mean, I'm young, and I'm cheerful and very forthright, but it's a committed thing is kind of it's a little bit new territory to me too. So you're not alone in exploring this. Just I know, don't give away too many of my secrets to the others, but put on my little smiley face. But let me tell you the truth. I don't know what's going on 90% of the time, especially when it comes to relating to people and forming any kind of lasting bonds. So, please don't feel alone in that, because I am with you on this journey.
There's a sigh of relief. And Cole is gonna take Oldie's hand in his. That does help. So, thank you. Now, we should get to bed.
Oh, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff beneath us and whatnot, isn't there?
There is, and the longer we wait, I think the longer things will get bad, especially if she's right below us and we have one of the crowns up here above in the temple. So,
But we've got each other and we've got our friends, and they've underestimated us, and we will learn them.
have. And we still have a date that we have to survive until.
Yes. I'm not. You're not dying, and I'm not dying until we have that date night. I mean, that's the pact.
We agreed it.
And then Oldie will spontaneously, like, just give Cole, like, the squeeziest hug his little frail body can.
Sure. He's just gonna hug back. There was gonna be a moment of like, let me get out of my armor first. But it's like, no, just don't ruin the moment. But then once they're done with the hug, Cole will start taking off his armor, so they can actually get down for Betty by time.
Yep, Oldie as well.
All right. As we move away from the cozy, caring forge fires, we're going to move out past the tavern to where one member of the party wanders alone for just a minute. We follow Abalus as he walks through the darkened streets of the fortress town of Bursovia. Not too many people out after dark, especially when they feel like they may be under siege soon. But the walls are manned and there are patrols going regularly. It's getting colder again because the spring that they bargained for was, well, only one day long. So the slush is slowly freezing back. A thin mist lies across the ground as the air cools, and Abolus walks through the night. Is there anything in particular Abolus does, says to anyone in passing, says to the world in general? I'm not going to be so gauche as to take the point of view of the audience inside Abolus's head. Oh no, it's too early for that.
Abellus walks. He takes the time to take in the world around him, something he hasn't really had the opportunity to do since waking up. And just continues on this sort of pointless quest to find an outlet for his frustration, which only becomes more conflicted as he walks and things begin to freeze over and the temperature begins to drop and perhaps the snow begins to fall again. Much like everything else in his life, he's torn. It was hard to call it a good day. It was a pretty day. It was a peaceful day in its own way. But it doesn't change the frustration and the misery that comes with the things he's been through. Thank you for the hydrate, Miss Moon. Cheers. And I think Abellus walks mostly without purpose. Just upset and frustrated and angry at himself, at the people around him, the world. Without purpose. If he comes across another place to stay, he will take it. I don't believe there is one. So eventually, when he is confident that it is likely everyone will be resting, not obviously with no way of knowing if that's true or not, probably close to 2 or 3 in the morning, he'd return, order another round of drinks for himself and everyone at the bar. And after 2 or 3 more, retire for the night.
As Abolus is heading back toward the bar, the only thing that really catches his attention is that the temperature is dropping rapidly. The sky above is clearing. And this day, late on the 15th, the moon has begun. It's a waning half moon. So it's well on its way to becoming a new moon. As he's walking back toward the inn, however, we're going to go ahead and check in one more time with Luca and Florenta, now that they are actually able to speak with some real privacy, to see if anything else has changed.
So Florenta is going to still be drinking and look over at Luca from her mead and be like, "You are the little one's parent now, you know that, right?"
I do.
So it would not be good if you just planned on dying. You should probably fight to stay alive. So, you definitely don't want someone like me being its moral compass.
Oh no, I have a plan for all of my children.
Oh, that's wonderful. What is your plan?
They are well taken care of, should they need it.
Oh, well taken care of. You need no one else. That's fantastic.
You just have to say that you're curious. That's okay.
I mean, I didn't want to make it easy, but yes, what are you going to do? Tell me everything.
No, please make it harder. I'll work for it. Keep going.
No, tell me everything. Come on. There is not enough meat
Oh.
for me to sit here all night.
Well, hopefully, by the time I die, this one will have a little bit more independence. But if not, then... And if Abellis doesn't come around, then I will see him off to my brother.
You have a brother. I did not know you had a brother. What does your brother do? Does he run around dying too?
No, he is not a... He's not a Spartoy.
He's not a
He's a brother of
That's
redemption.
interesting. Oh, okay. So do Spartoi have siblings?
We eat them all.
You eat your siblings? She's gonna take another long drink of mead. What do they taste like?
Strongest will survive and all that.
So, is it like when you are babies, you eat each other, or do you get a little older and then kill each other and eat each other?
I imagine it's something like badgers or sharks.
Yes, but what do they taste like?
Oh, I couldn't remember.
Oh.
Far too young
I mean,
at
I
the
would
time.
think that is a pretty formative experience, eating one's siblings. Sometimes wish I had eaten my siblings, but I like them sometimes.
You wish you had eaten your siblings?
Only when they annoy me.
I feel like there are other ways to have dealt with them if they were being annoying, but I mean...
We would usually punch each other in the kidneys and run off.
The fairy dragon on your shoulder, which you will recall used to be a white dragon, is only wide-eyed for a moment when you mention that you ate your siblings, and then nods like, well, that makes sense.
I mean, I suppose they're older, so it's probably a little bit more difficult now, right?
Yes, but I mean, I think you could still take my older sister. I really do. The younger one, not so much. She's small and has strong hands. Just grabs your ankles and pulls them out. It's terrible.
Your siblings sound like a delight.
Sometimes. So you ate your siblings, so you don't have any siblings. Are your parents still alive, or do you eat them too, or what happens?
I'm assuming they're still alive, at least my mother, if she didn't kill my father. Not out of anger, just probably out of annoyance.
Another thing we have in common.
I think more so than anything, they were very happy, and then I came along. And then I demanded more attention from one than the other, and it just became a problem. And dragon-like species aren't very good at spreading attention, so it was just easier for me not to be there.
Human-like species are not good at spreading attention, so don't worry about it.
My family, my parents, are wonderful and terrifying creatures. I respect them greatly.
My
As
parents... Go ahead, sorry.
oh no, you're continuing. I was
All right. My parents are also wonderful and terrifying. They are nobles. You know, they don't like you.
We'll keep that in mind. Has to be a Scarian thing. Whole different
No,
species.
I think nobles are like that everywhere. I've been to other places with nobles, and they are all very touchy.
Most I've met don't seem to mind me. Might be because I'm pretty. I'm not sure.
It's
Normally
because
they
you're
just try to
pretty
throw
and
money at
you're
me.
gigantic and frightening.
You know, that might have something to do with it. I will say, Luca has been nursing a single mug the whole time. And when 2, 3 o'clock rolls around, they are not in bed. So throwing that out there.
Florenta's not either, so...
Got him.
Perfect.
so. The evening passes on. Some of you drinking, some of you cuddling. Passes into night, into midnight, beyond. Is there anything in particular any of you would be doing other than sulking before the morning sunrise?
Well, when Abellis returns to the tavern in both, apparently Luca and Florenta are still up. But unless approached or called over, he will not acknowledge them and will just go over to the bar, get himself a couple of drinks, buy a round for the bar, and find somewhere to sit and drink.
Luca will look over to Florenta. Do you think we should let him sulk on his own? Or do you think we should bring him over here and torture him a little bit?
Do you want to see something really funny?
I do.
Boy.
Okay, Jack, this is my first role in Pathfinder.
Very good.
I want to
Exciting.
sneak up on Abelis.
Oh my god.
This is fantastic.
And just like appear next to him. Hello, how's it going?
All right. Very good then. Go ahead and roll your deception to pick a good time when he's, not looking in your direction, and then your stealth.
Well, he is specifically avoiding us.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. That doesn't mean he's avoiding looking at you.
All right, so I got a 17 for the deception. What do I add to that?
Your deception is quite good. You have a plus 16.
So am I adding that to what I rolled? I'm sorry, I'm just...
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so that's like 30-something?
33.
33, okay.
And I would be using, basically, in this case, his perception DC, which is a 24.
Mm-hmm.
Since he's not
Okay.
actively watching you.
Yep.
All right. Ooh. So for the stealth, I rolled a 16 plus 18.
So 34.
34, yes.
That is a critical success on stealth under the
Oh.
Pathfinder 2E rules.
Neat.
Didn't expect you to get critical success like on the second roll we ever make. So let me
I
go
didn't.
check and see what a critical roll on critical success on stealth is.
What a way to start.
Yep.
Isn't it?
So good.
It's very in character for Florenta, so I probably should have expected it.
The fact I have a modifier in the double digits is mind-blowing to me. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yep. Bunch of them now.
I hope Abellis is holding a mug when this happens.
Oh,
Just a
yeah.
mug, like
Yeah.
filled to the brim.
There doesn't seem to be an actual critical success on that particular trick.
Okay.
But you definitely make your way up to Abelus completely undetected, and when you speak, he will be surprised.
Hey, Abelis, what are you doing?
So, when Florenta pops up like that, I think, Abellis, who had the cup halfway up to his lips, slams it down on the table, sloshing drink everywhere. Oh, for fuck's sake.
The look on your face.
Good one.
Is this more of how we show our love for one another?
I don't know about that. I just thought it was hilarious. So Luca and I are going to come torture you now.
Oh, wonderful. What
Come, Luca.
Oh no.
could I possibly have wanted more than the power of friendship? And then he pushes one of the drinks that he has in front of him towards Florenta, and one of them towards where Luca is approaching. Come, sit, regale me with whatever nonsense we will use to pass the night.
What more than friendship? And they'll take the pitcher up and they'll fill the mug that he sloshed over. A refilled cup. Come, let's drink. Tomorrow we might die.
Us.
To us.
And then under his breath, very lowly, he goes, "The idiot." Takes the drink.
And Luca will kind of turn his head a little bit. And just kind of, yeah.
Yes, Abelis and I were talking before you came in, and we think the name of our little group should be the Idiots.
It fits.
Oh. I third this. I am on board.
Sadly, Cole and Oldie will be outvoted on this, but it's okay. They will make excellent idiots.
Yeah.
They should have been here. That's what happens when you're not here to vote. You get outvoted.
Now, let's not hold against them finally having a moment to themselves. I'm sure they've been dying for it.
You know what? That's fair. Getting some alone time for the two of them is well needed and hopefully will help the two of them find some personal warmth among one another.
Yeah. Good for them. They really are
I doubt it.
cute together.
Adorable, even.
Hopefully, Oldie is not flammable.
I think there's a spell for that.
I didn't think of that.
He probably has a spell for that.
I'm an alchemist now. I'll figure it out.
Well, you know, I did hear Cole talk about how his pillow had this kind of non-flammable magic on it, so he probably cast it on Oldie.
Oh,
Oh, that sounds useful.
They'll figure it out.
non-flammable halflings. This is an interesting concept.
What an absolute shame the dragons that we're standing up to aren't breathing fire.
I know, it's disappointing.
Indeed.
I don't think I'm fire resistant. They'll kind of just like look down on themselves. Should I test it?
Probably
Let's
not.
try.
All right.
Wait. Those are two different votes.
I definitely didn't used to be fire resistant. I don't know if I am now.
Oh, that's a good point. We shouldn't try it on you though. Tiny.
But you and I are going to be totally different. So trying it on you won't tell you anything about me.
Oh, that's right.
I say we try it on Luca.
Yeah, go ahead. Do it.
Florenta grabs a candle.
All right. Let's take a moment
Yes.
and slow down just a bit. Perhaps, stabbing at her with a candle is not a good idea. And no, that is not me suggesting we find a larger source of fire. Perhaps we just wait until
There is a roaring fire in the
tomorrow.
fireplace.
Stop that, oh great God. Let me suggest that we do have a very hot, perhaps flaming gentleman in our midst, and we wait for coal tomorrow, and we do it then in a way that can either be more properly tested or, with any luck, talk you out of it.
Just put your hand over it. It's not going. I mean, see? She waves her hand through the flame.
Ah, Florenta's fireproof.
No,
Yes, foolproof
if
test.
it starts to
Clearly.
hurt, then you pull your hand out, like I did, and it's a small fire. I'm not saying we douse them in oil and then light them ablaze.
Ooh, that'd be fun though.
Why?
If
Why
you
would
are
that
fireproof,
be
it
fun?
would be fun. If you are not fireproof, it would just be sad.
Yes,
I'd get better.
fine. Stick
You
your
can
hand
heal
in the
from
damn-
that?
Go on.
You are probably my favorite person to mess with. There's just something soul sparkling about the way that you you sulk. You would find it funny if I got set on fire though.
No, I don't think I would. I would think it a waste.
Waste.
Well, yes, if you're set on fire, one of a few things happen. Is if you're not resistant, then either you are badly hurt and we have to wait for you to get better, or we have to spend resources getting you better, or you die. None of these are particularly useful, helpful, or promising outcomes.
Except for if I am flame resistant.
So stick your hand on the candle and we'll find out if you're flame resistant.
Yes. Yes, if you're going to do it, that's the way to do it.
It's like if you're trying to find out if you fly, jump off a 6-inch ledge. Don't jump off a building.
What if the flight only kicks in after a certain amount of height?
That's not.
Then that is some sorcery, and I don't care about it. Now stick your hand in the fire. Luca.
I am just here. All right.
I hear bits of Avalus dying as we're doing.
Just piece by piece, just like
They
little
will though
pebbles.
put their hand over the fire just cause.
After a very short period of time, a little longer than maybe Florenta would hold her hand in the fire. Luca's hand, their hand does in fact begin to burn enough to notice, and they should probably remove it.
Oh yeah, no, they'll quickly remove it. The moment that it's like, oh shit, that ouches. It's let me
So
remove
you're
my
not
hand.
fireproof. We know this.
No, I guess not my type of dragon. To be fair, my species is meant to go against like lightning dragons, so
There are lightning dragons?
yeah.
Will the wonders ever cease?
Sadly not. Would be fun to fight one though. I'm supposed to. That's what I'm made for.
So you have mentioned.
Made of magic and magic are two different things. I have no magic, but I am made from magic. I think people are too, though, if you think about it. The gods made you, the gods made me. They just made me for a very specific purpose. Destruction, which is good. I'm good at it.
The gods made me to steal things and punch people. I am very good at both.
Just for the sake of being a part of this inane conversation. Question, what are the odds? Well, for you, Florenta, it is unfortunately a different case. For Luca, but for you, what are the odds that the gods did not make you to steal things, but instead it's just what you enjoy?
It could be, but who cares why I do it? I just do it. Why do you sulk in tombs?
Can I get a perception check from the three of you, please?
Sure. That is... That's an 18 on my end.
Yeah, I don't know where to find perception.
It should be, if you look on the first page of your sheet, all the way on the right, it's just above your skills.
It's the one in the magnifying glass, right?
Yes, yeah.
And I added D20 to it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You also have a +2 because you got your shield with you.
I do. So that is 29.
Okay.
29.
All right. Luca and Florenta both notice, but Abelis does not. The little fairy dragon is trying to sneak off of your shoulder and down to the candle flame.
Luca will just kind of like extend their arm above it so they can just touch like a little bit rather than like trying to knock it over themselves, and just kind of hold their arm out above it. Just a little bit. If it
He
hurts,
scampers
remove.
out there, gingerly puts out one forelimb. Ow! Nope.
Yeah.
That is a valuable
Fire
lesson.
resistant.
So Luca, I would still be made for my purpose because that doesn't change. But you might not steal things. I don't know if the gods made you specifically to steal things, but I think they made humans to just be human and do humany things, right? To just
Which includes stealing.
What
Very
a
human thing to do.
what a boring and easy catch-all to put out there, isn't it? Yes, they made humans to do human things, and so anytime a human does anything human, it is clearly with the intention of gods. What a
boring.
accurate depiction.
Well, everything can be humany if the humans do it, right? If they destroy like us or create like us, then are they still human?
But to say that they were created with the intentions of all of the things they've done, good and bad, well, doesn't that take away the value of their choices and action? All of them just the result of someone else's desire. Everything you want, everything you do, everything you love, everything you hate is what?
Why do we assume the gods are smart?
Oh. No. Not everyone does. Well, the smart ones don't.
I mean, they could just be really powerful and dumb like the rest of us.
What an interesting concept.
I mean, they just make us because we are somehow like them and we're all dumb like they are. Perhaps the universe is just very dumb.
And what do you think of that, Luke?
I don't know. I don't pretend to know whether or not they're smart. They're them, I guess. I don't know anything about them. I'm not exactly learned in the ways of most religious studies. Kayla came to me by choice, chance. I don't know. Happened
Then-
upon.
Can I offer you a question with pondering?
I like your questions.
Oh, good. You believe, like most of the Spartoi, that you were put here with purpose because it is what you were created for, yeah?
Yes,
And you have conviction in that, yeah?
I suppose.
But
I never knew how I would react to a dragon until I found a dragon, and then there was this intense urge to utterly destroy them, so probably.
But if you are willing to entertain the idea that those who crafted you are stupid, perhaps not all knowing and all wise, why would you have such conviction in striving for what you were meant for? It's not a
I think
question.
they're just trying to make up for their mistakes.
Interesting. And do you believe yourself alive?
Sometimes.
Then should it fall to you to have to clean up their mess?
Don't all children strive to be better than their parents?
But you are not striving to be better. You are striving to fix their mistakes for them. And if you, more than likely, die in the process, then what?
Then someone else will do it.
But in thinking that way, you remove from yourself any value of who you are outside of the expectation of someone else who made a mistake and now wants you to clean it up. Is that reasonable?
I think I'd be better because I'd be able to fix the mistake if I could live. But if I can't, then someone else will do it.
Narrow point of view. I like you. I like to think that we have grown some kind of a kinship, especially with what we've faced up until this point. But I see parts of myself in you. And it can be very difficult to ask the questions, but it doesn't make them less important. Why is it that you have to, should, are expected to do these things? And if you die, why should it mean so little?
It's what I was made for. It's what all of my species were made for.
Made for
Maybe
by...
that's a lie.
Oh.
Why does
Very
that have to be true? Who told you this?
Why does that have to be true? Annabella takes a deep drink.
Because even if it's not, and if it isn't, then does it matter? What then? If it is a lie, then this conviction that I have, this feeling that I have when I'm in their presence, is a built-in lie, a very carefully crafted, innate lie. And if it is true, then can I be different? Can I change it? Can I strive to be what? More human?
Like Kerberos. He was just angry all the time, and then you did something, and things changed, and he stopped being angry all the time.
But he changed because of Kayla.
Well, maybe it's because of Kayla. I mean, if you die, I'm going to throw dung at at their statue. I mean, it's like, what good is having servants if you don't take care of them? I mean, even my father, who is not a very nice man, he will make sure a crippled servant has some help.
Kayla didn't make me.
Well, I don't care who made you. Kayla is taking care of you, and if they don't take care of you, they can go to hell.
Even if you were just a tool and nothing else, what good is a tool that isn't kept? What good is a tool that isn't cleaned and polished and put away proper and treated?
There is, in fact, the loud sound of a momentary roll of thunder that peals across the valley.
A
And
tool that
then
isn't.
as quickly, it cuts off.
The answer to your question is easy.
Hmm.
A tool that isn't kept or polished or cared for is replaceable.
The person who wields such a tool is foolish.
He makes so many of us. What difference is one?
At the peal of thunder, Florenta is just going to say, "Shut up!"
Annabella's just raucously begins laughing.
Moments after the peal of thunder abruptly cuts off, which happens before Florenta says shut up. There is the beam of silver light down outside the window just as the peal of thunder cuts off, which is a fairly clear indication that his wife told him not to do that. All right. We are going to need to go ahead and take our break here. And if we have anything, don't get me wrong, I know we have a lot of cool things to continue to talk about after the break. But if we decide to, we can also move on to the next morning. You guys let me know which one we're going to do. But right now, we're taking a break. This has been amazing fun to watch. I hope it's been fun for everybody else.
Yep, we'll be back in about 15 minutes. So go get some water, use the bathroom, walk around, stretch out, get away from your computer, check your socials, do whatever you're going to do. But be back here in about 15 minutes because we will with more Rega, Shadow of the Dragon. See you then. We're back. Hi, y'all.
Welcome.
Go,
Hi.
go. Yeah.
Welcome back to the world of Telluria, a world where, frankly, we're not even certain if it's flat or round yet. And the people on the world aren't certain if it's flat or round, but nonetheless,
Could be a triangle.
we're looking at Telluria from far away, and then zooming in a little bit, and we see the successor states of Rega. And then we zoom in some more, and we see Scaria on the eastern border of the successor states of Rega. And then we zoom in some more, and we see the border town of Bursovia, the former Legion fortress town from the days of the ancient Regan Empire. Then we zoom in again to the sun slowly rising in the east, obscured by the mountains. But those slivers of light still count as dawn, and people are still getting up in the morning. Because there are many, many things that have to be done long before that sun actually crests the mountaintops. It is bitter cold, as if the winter is angry that it was momentarily allayed the day before. It's so cold, there isn't even a hint of snow or a hint of cloud. Yes, Cole.
Okay. So I have this cool thing in the new Pathfinder system where I can be up for like 20 hours
Hey.
at a time. So while I did sleep a little bit, we had a little nap. Cole is actually up fairly early. And he's going to cook breakfast. Because he's, actually good at that now. Again, new system. We got nifty little tricks. Like I can actually cook food, which is important to me. So I'm going to cook at the Smith's place. I'm going to make sure that there's food for them. I'm going to have a plate ready for Oldie, complete with coffee. In the morning, and I'm also making sure that I have food prepared for the rest of our party, which we will take to the tavern when we're ready to go. Sorry, go ahead.
Master Bogdan and Mistress Ilyana are glad to sit at table and share the meal with you. After a little while, since all three of you are probably awake before Oldie, all three of you are awake before Oldie, and after a little while, Master Bogdan kind of clears his throat, like, should wake him up so that I can use the forge.
Oh, yes, I was going now once the food was done. I do apologize. We'll be out of your way shortly.
Oh, that's not what I meant. You don't have to leave. I just need the forge.
Well, we have things we must attend to, so it works out. But thank you again for your warmth and your generosity.
I am more than glad. Thank you.
So he's going to, start the forge up for him, just as the, blessing from, priest.
Mm-hmm.
And then wake Oldie up. Just gonna put the coffee near your face so you can smell it.
It's that the world is still here time.
It is still here. I have coffee and there's food at the table, but you'll have to get up to go to that. I'm sorry. There's
Okay, coffee. The coffee will imbue me with the spell of walk. to table.
The coffee will learn you.
Yes, coffee.
There's a kiss on the forehead, and Cole will go just to go clean up his breakfast mess while he's waiting for Oldie to gather himself.
Yeah, Oldie will freshen up briefly and then slowly meander over to the table, sipping the coffee.
When Cole heads back into the kitchen, he notices that the dishes are doing themselves. As Mistress Silyana is leaning against the wall, sipping her coffee.
That is a marvelous feat.
Oh, I learned that one a very long time ago. I do not like doing dishes.
I don't either, but I believe that particular magic eludes me.
Well, it is arcane rather than directly from the gods, so it doesn't surprise me.
Fair. Thank you again. Like I said to Master Bogdan, you all have been wonderful to me.
You're out there risking your lives for the rest of us. It's the least we can do.
It is still nice and appreciated.
Well, good.
He's going to package up the rest of the food so that it's travel worthy, because he already knows it's cold as fuck outside.
Yeah, oddly, the forge is nice and warm.
Uh-huh.
The whole building.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And then once Oldie is awake enough, we're gonna head over to the tavern to rejoin our companions.
Meanwhile, back at the inn, the rest of you, whenever you do wake, while the inn is well warmed and heated and properly insulated for winter weather, because they have cold weather here all the time during winter, it's still pretty chilly. Because while it's set up for winter weather, this is a bit more than usual. And there's a little nip in the air, even in your rooms.
Oh, Jack, I will point out that my sheet has not carried over my cold resistance.
Yeah, that's on that's specifically, I think I marked that on something on the sheet, but it's not in the normal place. Your other resistance is on there. You do have cold resist 5.
Okay. It's probably
So
somewhere I
feels
haven't
chilly,
explored yet.
you're certainly not going to be damaged by it in any way.
I will tuck Aklam into the neck of my shirt. Do my best to keep him warm.
When Aklam wakes up, he's like, what is this feeling? I don't like this feeling. My toes are numb. What is this feeling?
No. Don't do here. Just it's cold.
I was a white dragon.
You were. And now you are other.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Winter thing.
We will work on getting it to be warm soon.
Mm-hmm. Is it like this for everybody else all the time? Like when it's white out?
Probably not cold, but yeah.
I do not like it.
We can try and knit you a scarf.
You can explain that later. Florenta.
Yes.
You wake in a cold room.
Okay, Florenta's gonna get out, mutter something about it's colder than a dead man's rear end, um, crack her joints, put on clothes, jump around a bit, walk downstairs cursing, and grab some mead.
Fabulous.
Abellis is. Hang on. Sorry. Abellis is happy to have slept in a comfortable bed for the first time in a few days. The cold, not ideal, and I think he does curse it a bit. And then he too gets dressed, heads down, and orders himself a nice wine.
Very good. Of the three, Luca will make their way downstairs first, followed by the other two. It won't be very long until Cole and Oldie make their presence known. But is there anything that Luca wanted to do before anyone else showed up?
I'm going to get myself an Aklam situated near the fireplace. And I think one of the things that they are doing is there's this kind of kick in the cog of the wheel from the thoughts of last night.
Mhm.
And just kind of spacing out into the fire a little bit.
Aklam
Good.
makes his way down into your lap and starts fanning those butterfly wings in front of the fire. You get the impression that those were probably even colder than his other digits.
Yeah.
Huge radiating surface.
And very thin.
There's this moment where they look down at him as he's just kind of moving about the fire, and a digit just kind of goes over one of the wings for a little bit. You are the pure personification of choice. You get to be something entirely new.
I mean, if I can, then you could if you wanted to.
I don't know if I do. I don't know if I can.
I'm sure you can. If I can change from what horrible thing I was, not even made by them, at my choice, I really kind of doubt that they, stop you from choosing something else.
It's a thought.
If I may, I think Abellis will venture over to join them in this moment. Followed closely behind in the air by his slightly furry winged friend, who I have just slightly retconned from a butterfly to a sunset moth. And I think Abellis comes up just about at the time when that last bit of the exchange is had, and he takes a seat near the fire, kind of puts his hands out towards it, and goes, "Well, as one tool to another, everyone has a choice to make, and everyone has the right to make that choice."
And the rather large moth settles on his shoulder and pipes up. It's not a choice, Abellis. It's a lot of choices.
Yes.
As long as you. You have choices.
Yes. Thank you.
Justina?
Can everyone hear the big bug talk, or is it just Abellas?
Everyone can hear the big bug talk.
Yeah.
So Florenta is going to have like a mouthful of whatever gruel or whatever they're serving. Like, you have a giant talking bug on your shoulder. I did not know if you were aware of this.
Oh, I am plenty aware. Yeah.
I had not seen it before. Is it a new tomb thing?
Oh, were you? Oh, well, I suppose you were busy being invisible, weren't you? Oh, no, they were with us when we were down, dealing with well, that one. And just without looking, sort of points off to the fairy dragon, and goes, no, we've been companions for quite some time, but everyone needs a break now and again, and I suppose that break is over, isn't it?
Yes.
What
you
would
need
I?
someone to remind you of some things occasionally.
Yeah. What would I do without
Be even
Salt,
more.
Have a quiet
probably.
day.
you? Sorry.
So you hear from the door, sulk, probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lucas said the same thing.
It just like happen in synchronicity, like they just say it at the same time.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Hey,
Cole.
be fair. Be fair. He would also grump while sulking.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry. I forgot.
He excels
Abellis is
at both
multifaceted.
things.
Yes.
Yes, I am a complex individual capable
Of
of doing
course.
many things at once. Sulking, grumping, bitching, moaning, raising
Drinking.
good points, and drinking, yes. All at once.
Snark.
It's amazing. And you know what?
Multi-talented.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
You
Not
contain
divine.
multitudes.
Florenta is going to say, I am Abellas. I hide in tombs and I sulk all the time. Oh, look at me.
No,
But I
we're
am-
out of tombs now. We're about to go into one, but for right now, we're above tombs and we're still sulking.
He's returning home. He will feel good about it, Luca.
Natural
Um,
environment.
Wait, this is something we need to test. Will he be less sulky in sulkier environments?
Perhaps.
No. When we
No.
were in the sarcophagi place, there was a whole bunch happening. So I'm
There was a lot of
assuming.
sulking.
Hmm.
Anyway, I brought breakfast. Cole is going to go up to the bar. He also made a plate for the barman.
Nice.
For the for the tavern keeper. I know you cook for others, but sometimes it's good to have someone cook for you.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
Of course. Could I? Actually, it's still rather cold. May I have? Never mind. Oldie, may I have an ale, please?
You could have
Yes.
mulled wine. You could have hot cider.
No. He was trying to say water, but he forgot the word.
I did not forget water. I chose against it because it is still cold outside. The alcohol will keep the internals warm.
I think the hot cider sounds good because it is. I mean, you can't see it because of the armor, the really sweet ass armor that Cole made, but it's really nipply in here.
2 hot ciders, please. Does anyone else want hot cider?
I will take the ale.
Okay. I am
2.
always happy to oblige.
Uh,
Little halfling,
Oh,
would you do me a favor of not pouring drink in
it's
my
morning. My
bar?
nope. I That's my fault. That's my fault. It's morning. My brain isn't working yet. I'll slap myself later for that. And
Don't get extreme. Yes, Justina.
It's the lights.
Florenta's gonna pop down 100 gold pieces and say, for his transgression.
Abellus will down the remainder of his wine and go, fuck it, I'll take one too.
How do you drink that Byzantine swill?
I prefer the swill to the swear.
Keep your money.
we are just all kinds of offending our host this morning, and I feel horrible.
No. Don't say we. I am not included in this. I have been pleasant and I have been silent.
I didn't say all of
with
us.
Abellus.
I didn't specify all of us, but multiple. We're getting into multiples now. And I started it. It's my fault. I'm sorry. I'm just going to shut up and eat until my brain engages.
I have already forgotten it.
Gonna bring over the food to the others. It will also help to keep you warm. Made by my own hands. No divine influence.
Oh, how thoughtful.
I've been told I
Aren't
am
your
that.
hands divine influence, though?
No.
Oh, now we're getting philosophical.
Couldn't he punch ghosts if that were the case?
And I
Maybe.
cannot punch. No. I didn't take that
Have
power.
you tried?
Oh,
Yes, have you tried to
yeah.
punch ghosts? We found out that Luca is not fireproof last night.
So
That's true.
speaking of ghosts,
Wait, did you try to? Okay, sorry. Oldie, you were having a thought. I'm interested in hearing
yeah,
your thoughts.
just so people don't get weirded out. You know how I was trying to talk to my book, and I might have gotten a little upset that my diary wouldn't talk back to me, and I ripped
Yes.
the pages out.
Mm-hmm.
He reaches in his bag and he pulls out a paper mache fox mask.
Okay.
This is my new friend now. This is Foxy Love.
Oh,
That
Everybody
is a
say hi
mask.
to Foxy Love.
That is
wonderful.
a mask.
It's just a paper mache mask.
I'm not
Fantastic.
saying hello to your crafts.
Elaborate, please.
Oh, Foxy, can you say hello?
You are so excited, and that's terrifying. I'm so excited for you,
Jack,
I think.
Jack, would you like to do Foxy?
Yeah,
or
it's at the moment, it takes a second, but you realize as people are looking at the mask, it is trying to keep its mouth shut, but its lips are quirking up at the edges just slightly.
Oh, fuck.
That paper moved. The paper moved.
Did not.
But you didn't.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
You imagined it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm imagining you continuing to respond to me then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I haven't done that.
Of course.
Florenta's hand moves to her dagger for a moment, and then she's like, it's okay.
Luca is going to ever so slightly lean next to Abellus. I can punch ghosts.
Of course you can.
Just like shit-eating grin.
Hey, no punching Foxy Love. Besides, Foxy's not
It's
really
nothing
a
to do with
ghost.
me. I'm not a ghost. I've got a physical form and everything. You made it. You ought to know.
I did.
I was just offering a
And it
workaround,
worked.
but
Okay. We.
I'm
Speaking
sorry,
of.
did you say you offered him a reach around?
a
What?
workaround.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know if Abellus is into that, and I don't think that anybody here needs to know about my personal interests or
Fair
not
enough.
interests.
Sorry.
Just-
New to the
just-
whole carnate thing.
It's Again, if I'm taking blame this morning for things, it's my fault. I made it so we could talk.
So
It is
there's
a conversation that you could have with Cole.
there was a moment when someone was like talking about giving your reach around where there was a flash of anger. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But it was definitely there. Uh so
Luca, redirect.
uh-huh.
Question: Can Abellis tell if this thing is divine in nature?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
It does not feel that way to you.
Okay. Cool.
So we should discuss our next plan of action, our next course of action. Because we need to go into the tombs below.
Mhm.
Are we ready to do that? Or do we need more time?
I mean, we gather some rations for as much as we can, and then we head below, make sure that we have enough torches, and I don't see the need to hold off. Unless we want to stay in town waiting for it to get colder, waiting for her to possibly come back.
No, not particularly. I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page with this. This is going to be, especially if we are specifically running into her, it's going to be a very difficult engagement. Yes?
Yeah.
So we found the entrance. I believe we now need to be prepared to fight whatever undead spirits she has collected under, and perhaps still some draconic forces.
What I'm good for.
Jack, can at this point, while they're talking, can I make a bardic lore check to see what type of things might live in, what passes for the Underdark here? Like in the far north, like what lives underground in the far north?
What lives in the deep underground or what lives in tombs and such? Because there is a distinction.
Yeah, well, I would say what lives in the tombs, and if I could think of anything that lives near like the upper levels of the like things from the deeper, like the top levels of the deep that people might encounter in the area or have talked about.
Okay.
But generally, yeah, what we're likely to expect in the horrible place. We will make that attempt. Particle roll. 18 plus a 13 is a holy crap. That's a 31.
All right. Tombs vary greatly, but through all the tales you've heard, almost every tomb, if it has anything alive in it, it's one of two things. Three things. Tombs are, unless they have been broken from the outside, like from beneath or something, tombs are generally not going to have anything actually alive in it. What they might have is certain types of undead, depending on what funeral rites were done and whether the area was blessed, etc., etc. You might find specifically built tomb guardians that are constructs or things like that. And you might have things that get summoned into the area again as tomb guardians by traps or the like. And that's what you're generally going to run into in tombs. It's generally not possible to have living creatures in tombs without advanced magic to keep them in stasis or something. Again, generally as a guardian creature of some kind. As for the upper levels of the deeps, the dark underground, honestly, most of the upper levels, as far as you're aware of, are peopled by things like the deep dwarves and the deep halflings. So you're not going to find a lot of really dangerous things in the upper levels normally. But there wouldn't be this particular section of the terrain wouldn't have any close proximity to a deep dwarf or deep halfling stronghold.
So kind of like over
hard
like
to say.
the equivalent of like overgrown or feral, like wilds sort of area.
Yeah, but
like Uncharted.
Uncharted is probably the best way to put it. There have not been a lot of expeditions into the deeps past where the deep dwarves and deep halflings live.
Okay.
So what actually exists down there is not the subject of very many tales.
So for a few minutes while people are talking, Oldie is whispering in primordial with this familiar and flipping through its pages and reading things. And he's like, okay, so I think what besides any draconic forces she has, it seems like the most likely things we're gonna run into are like typical tomb undead and like automaton, like guardian automatons and things like that. There's not a lot of wildlife, so to speak, in the underground around here, though there's like a little bookmark on that because nobody's really quite sure. Normally, like like my deep cousin halflings and stuff like that, and some of your deep cousins, Cole, are the ones who are at the more upper levels right below the tombs, but there's none of our cousins for quite a ways around here, and nobody really knows. The tombs themselves are pretty much uh unknown, forgotten, avoided, and anything below that is unknown. So there might be some like oozes or some other surprise things. But it does seem like I think the automatons and the undead are gonna be our most likely her most likely resources to build up an army down there.
Okay, that's good to know.
Sounds like a good time.
I think the good
Certainly.
time will be had when we're dancing on her dead body.
How
Or if by some
gauche.
miracle we can have an even better miracle and convince her that we don't need to make her a dead body.
If she's not already a dead body.
Well, to be
A
fair,
dead body that acts like a dead body should and stops moving.
yes, to be fair,
Gosh.
we've encountered dead bodies before that you've been able to convince otherwise. So, have at it.
Okay. Other than rations, does anyone need to make any preparations before we go?
Underground is going to be colder. For those of us that feel it, we should make sure that we are dressed for such.
Oh, yeah.
I will note that you're probably right in this case, but of course, normally underground, it would probably actually be a little warmer because underground tends to insulate. But in this case, as you're getting closer to her source of power, you'd be 100% correct.
I know. That's why I said it, Jack.
No, you know, I just like to clarify for the audience why it's cold.
That's it. I know.
Bellis
Right.
just sort of like looks over to his shoulder. And you, are you going to be all right down there?
Wouldn't that be?
Yes, yes. Pardon me for being concerned.
I will not pardon you. I appreciate your concern.
Oh, good.
Cole looks around
I
and then looks to Florenta.
Hmm?
I'm feeling left out. We're the only one without companions.
Oh
Luca
no,
will
Cole!
grab Aklam and put Aklam on Cole's shoulder.
Now I have a companion.
Aklam
Florenta is just eating more of your food. So.
It's fair.
gleefully wraps his tail around Cole's neck. You are very warm, thank you.
I think they like
I
you.
am, yes.
everybody can have a pet. Everybody should have pets. I want more.
No, I do not want a pet. No,
I
am
no
not-
pets.
Hang on.
I am not a pet.
Not a pet.
That's why I said companions.
Yes,
very
they are
specifically.
not a pet, but Cole, don't you understand? You've been singing this diatribe to me since the day we've met. You have plenty of companions. Who cares if they're big, small, furry, or annoying?
You should be nicer to your companions.
Oh no,
I think
he's
I
very
think-
correct. You put up with him all the time.
yeah, I think they're like perfect for each other. This is like this is I've never seen anybody vibe with a Bellis like this before.
We've been together a little while.
And it feels like that.
Luca's just gonna keep eating and then feed some to Aklam and keep eating and feed some to Aklam.
Okay, I will make sure to make a portion for you, Aklam, next time.
Thank you. Is it okay if I don't go down in the pit of despair and doom?
I was actually going to ask whether or not you wanted to.
I mean, I
because-
kind of want to because I want to help you, but I kind of also don't know how helpful I'm going to be. And I don't know if she could maybe do something to my head once I'm down there. And then all the good work gone.
As far as I'm concerned, all of our friends here are our friends here, and all of our friends are free to make their own choices.
So the wonderful part about being you get a choice.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to stay up here near the fire and wait very nervously for you to come home.
I will do so. And I will go to the barkeep and slide a little bit of extra money in case he eats you out of house and home.
I will say this one more time in case I have not been very clear.
Very clear.
Keep your money.
This guy is going to be unwillingly the richest man in the region by the time we leave. And the unwillingly is the funny
I
part.
can't. You'll have to understand. I am too old and broken to go on this fight with you. But if I were younger, I would be going. The least I can do is give you food and a place to stay between your fights.
Yes, but if I die, then money needs to be here until my brother comes to collect him.
And if you die, you will have died in the service of this town. There's a pension for such things. The town will pay to support your ward if you die in its service.
Yes, but there's no reason that their gold should go to waste.
You make your decision. It's the last time I will complain about it.
Sir, I'm
Choice.
just gonna say I'm sure you could think of many worse places our money could go than to you.
I can also think of better places. And I will probably send them there once you give me the money.
Well, that would make it awkward if we come back looking for a coin.
Don't believe you should leave your money here if you intend to get it back.
Unless you tell me
Luca is at
what's
the
my money. That's different.
Luca is at the bar, by the way, writing a note.
Mm.
And Florenta's going to hand him back the sack of 100 gold and say, and here you go. Feed widows and orphans. Feed yourself. Take a nice vacation. Whatever it is you do.
Just don't take the vacation until after we return. Who else would,
What do?
Hmm.
It's a free in then.
This is my vacation.
Oh, it's a lovely place you have.
Thank you. If I wanted to be rich, I would not be running a tavern in a backwater town in the coldest ass end of Scaria.
And if I wanted to remain rich, I would not be throwing 100 coins at you. Please allow me to. Please enable my divesting myself of worldly goods.
When you put it that way, I can no longer refuse.
To be fair, you did say you wouldn't complain about it anymore.
It's true. And I
So,
won't.
and he hasn't.
So Luca has like a little pouch of the majority of their gold, and sticks the letter in it and just puts it on the
For your brother, just in case.
yes.
Of course.
Real quick, while they're being
later when no one is looking.
While our other party mates were took over, so to speak, and were being ribald with the barman, I'm gonna slide over close to Abelis in the group and be like, Abelis, I want to ask you a question before I, be loud about it, because I don't want to put you in a spot. If I wanted to do a group prayer, would you be part of the circle and let me, or would that bother you?
do not allow me to stop you from doing it if you'd like. But I will sit it out. I do appreciate you asking, though, and will probably enjoy greatly watching you do it.
I'm just trying to be more mindful, Like sometimes I pick on you a little bit about it, but I'm not trying to really be mean or anything.
Oh, I guarantee my feelings are much more difficult to hurt than that.
Okay. It's just, I just with the ale and everything else, I didn't want to put you on a spot, to be honest. So that's
At this point, the moth says, I'll join if you'll allow it.
And now I put you on the spot. I just can't win this morning.
No, you didn't put me on the spot. I've made my decision, and my friend has made theirs.
Yes, he's not on the spot at all.
Okay, I didn't make things awkward. Oof.
No. We've done that to ourselves for long years now.
Oh, okay. So then, at that point, probably with timing would line up. Duca put her thing up for her brother and stuff. Before we go, could I?
There.
There, I apologize. Could we gather in a circle and if you guys would, and let me pray to Volpos and Lunos, because we're about to do something horribly
Idiotic?
Stupid.
yes. Yeah,
Fun.
yeah. Those are all fair
That too.
adjectives. But
Necessary.
yes, it feels like the kind of extreme thing where if they happen to be looking this way to notice, it wouldn't be terrible for them to notice. And they are dear to me, obviously. But no, it's not an obligation. You know, I checked with Abelis first to make sure I wasn't going to put him on the spot. Luca, I know sometimes things can be complicated for you. I don't want to put you on the spot either. And Florenta is not great about magic and kind of weird about religion. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel awkward now that I asked it, and now I'm thinking it out loud.
Cole's gonna take your hand. The offer was made. They can accept or not. It's
The
okay either
butterfly
way.
flaps its little wings over and lands on your two hands where they're clasped together.
Florenta will shrug and take a hand from someone.
Luca will look to Aklam.
Okay, yes.
And then they will go sit at the bar. Thank you for your offer.
Mm-hmm. Oldie takes a moment, takes a deep breath. Long ago, it said that there were no tides and that the earth was still. With life upon it, it was lifeless. Things were static and unmoving. And then the moon rose and pulled the tides. And it was chaos. There was flooding and great waves. There was light in the sky that was never there before, confusing all. But in the wake of the chaos was life and activity, motion, love, and breath. And so today we're going to dive into the chaos. We are going to try to be the tide. And hopefully we'll be the waves rather than the land. Hopefully we'll be the moon rather than the sea. And most hopefully, we'll live again to see another day and break the world and cause more chaos so that a new world and new life can rise. With love for all.
Cole squeezes Oldie's hand again. Just a big smile. Perfect.
Florenta opens one eye. That was it? We're done?
Yeah,
That was all.
that's it.
Usually you're more impressive. I mean, there's usually lights and sounds and things. Oh, well.
I'm just having a morning. It's still morning, and I think I'm filled with a little bit more awkwardness and existential dread than normal.
Oh,
Florenta. Sometimes the power comes in the simplistic and visually unimpressive.
If it's
Plus-
not making
plus
me
I
punch
also
someone's teeth in, I'm fine.
Plus, I also didn't want to do like a whole bunch of magic. I'm trying to be more respectful of people, and I'm doing really badly at it this morning. But so I know from future reference that you're okay with like the big light show and stuff.
I'm fine with magic as long as you don't do things that make me upset.
That is very helpful.
I
Then I
need
will
to
kick your
learn a
teeth in if you make me upset.
Very.
She throws
Yes.
things at you when she's upset with you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know that
Look at
firsthand, do you?
I do.
You know, I wonder if I could research a spell of detect Florenta upsetness.
No,
You will know.
you just wait till something hits you, and then you know.
That
Well,
point
see,
is too late.
that's the idea of the spell is avoiding the flying objects. But it could
Have you
improve my
seen
dodging
her
ability.
hide and disappear? You think you're gonna know?
I mean, that is true. Florenta is the disappearing. And I keep saying that when we don't see Florenta, that's how we know she's okay. And that is dangerous for those flying objects.
But you will get better at dodging.
Eventually.
Yeah, it's like
hopefully.
training. I can accept that.
I will help you. I will show up. I will throw things at you. Nothing very hard or very big, but just small things.
If you could not throw things at my boyfriend, that would be good.
Nothing.
Thank you.
Oh my god. He's your boyfriend?
That is what was said, yes.
Well, I know, but I mean,
No.
the two of you. I'm sorry, I was so busy with sulking over here that I did not realize the two of you. Oh.
Yeah, that's why we like went to the forge together and stuff.
They needed alone time.
Is that what you call it? Going to the forge now? I see now.
No, we went.
No,
No,
I've heard it referred to in so many different ways.
It's
Florenta
called
is just-
getting,
Florenta's just
getting
gonna
hot
toast
and
you
heavy, I believe.
the
That's
flames.
Oh,
one,
The
yes,
flames.
yes.
The
I
flames
don't
are
think
going.
the forge master is. What's the word
The
I'm
names
looking
you
for?
use
Forge
for each
Master
other are
doesn't
your
know
I think
own.
he's into
Yes,
watching.
I was going to say, is that your name for it? The
That's
Forge
like you can
Master.
use whatever the forge like if that's what you want to call each other, that's fine. We
leaves.
just need
Cole
to
is
know.
leaving. Cole is leaving. He's leaving. And just,
Luca?
like the
I-
flames just
The
start
little
going.
dragon,
"Ah!"
the little dragon comes off his shoulder and lays down by the fire as Cole is exiting.
Oldie turns as red as the background behind me.
I suppose we should follow Cole and his Forge Master.
Yes. So Luca, someday
Forge
maybe.
Master.
Cole was the forge master.
Luca, someday maybe we could go to the forge, perhaps.
Excuse me.
Do Sparkjoy go to the forge? How does
I
this work?
have, yeah. Quite well no that I mean yeah.
Look,
The forge is
the
well
f-
now. The forge
I
is
still
now
have a-
whole entendre.
I still have a body. I have
Well, I don't know how
desires.
it works.
They're very short term.
I would be fine short term.
So, are people rising to follow Cole into the frozen wasteland?
Well,
Woohoo!
Luca-
Frozen Wasteland.
off we go, hopefully to not our deaths.
yeah, guide us, Forge Daddy.
Let us.
We know. We
Were you saying something? No.
can't.
Florenta is calling Cole Forge Master from now on.
Oh,
Do you know what Abellis just did? Okay, see,
Created
Okay.
our next shirt.
Oldie has this theory called gnomes, right? This is called gnome theory. Everybody has little gnomes that live inside them that stop the galloping horse stampede of thoughts from making it out of your mouth. I think you just genocided all of the gnomes. No gnomes left. Because it's going to be so hard to resist calling Cole Forge Daddy now.
No, it lives there now. This is where we are.
Yeah, it's in here. It's
Oh.
As you're headed out the door into the cold, the butterfly says, just remember that the wave is changed as much by the land as the reverse. Del, you were going to say something?
Before Luca is, for one, gonna not waste the food that was prepared for them, and is gonna shovel all that in. Give him time to cool off for a second, and then lean down towards Aklam and just kind of press their head to theirs. Be safe. I will do my best to come back alive.
You please do. I'm sure I'll like your brother, but I like you.
At the very least, if you were to be with my brother, you would have a friend.
I have friends now. I would like to keep them.
Florenta's gonna actually lean down to Aklam at this point and say, listen, they always get on about this dying thing before we go do something. Usually it's not so bad. I will try to make sure they come back.
And I will try to make sure that they come back.
Good. I'll be here, guarding the inn.
We'll do a fine job.
Going to wait. Be the last one out. And is going to look down at Aklam for a moment. And then at the food that was left by his seat. And then leave, following behind the rest of them.
Followed the whole time by the biggest damn puppy dog eyes you have ever seen on a tiny dragon.
Bellis does not look back.
Did you leave my fucking food behind?
I mean, yeah, for...
You need my food?
Look here, Forge Daddy, some of us stormed off.
Yeah, he seemed to like it.
Cole went specifically out of his way to make non-magical food for you. And that's how you're going to do them.
Yeah, but he waited till y'all was all gone first. So, you know, have that conversation when you find out. All right. Anyway, we are going
out the door. Forge Daddy, wait up.
This is 100% going to be a piece of merchandise
You
soon.
can't be doing
So
that.
keep
They're
your-
gonna break me.
Keep your eyes out, out for when we release our Guide Us Forge Daddy shirt.
To us, the idiots.
Us, the idiot.
The idiot.
The idiots.
Beautiful. I'm going to have to look up how to say idiot in ancient Dacian.
Wonderful.
All right. Yeah, we're calling it there for the night, guys.
Off
It
we
is
go.
after 11 p.m. and we're certainly not going to delve into the tomb of avarice at this time of night. So join us next time as our heroes enter the tomb of avarice. But I will remind you guys of one small detail. Now, you know Kerberos, of course, is outside somewhere. He didn't come in. But Yvonne never came back. And we will deal with that when we come back for our next session of the Successor States of Rega, Shadow of the
Wait,
Dragon.
where would Yvonne need to come back from? We all came back to town together.
And then he went back out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh.
Savios shits in my dinner.
Every time.
That's my Sky Daddy, okay?
We're just
No.
getting we're just gonna have a whole group of daddies now, right? That's what this is
I've
becoming.
been calling
This is becoming
Scavio's
Dungeons
Guy
and
Daddy
Daddies.
this whole time.
We already
They
have
have. It's true.
That's
we
true.
already
yeah.
have a nebulous friendicule, polycule thing going on here. We may as well have a polycule of daddies above us.
No.
That's
Mm-mm.
perfect.
Mm-mm.
Guide us, Forge Daddy.
Savios probably is in a polycule or 3 because
Probably.
he does have. He and Kayla both have fully polyamorous open relationship. Both those things. They're like, no, you go ahead.
All right.
I'll be over here. Don't
Warm
mind me.
Forge Daddy.
I just can't believe you guys.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do. We're gonna just keep on talking about this for the next hour. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to talk our way out. We're gonna do our sign out for the evening. We're gonna start with Q.
Hi, I'm Q. I've played Cole, the now completely flustered and just apparent. And I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to give you the
Do it.
satisfaction. No, you
Do
can't make
it.
me. Again, you can find me on Twitter at midnight_Inc. That is INQ. Q is my name. You get it. Also, on Saturdays, you can see me RPGs Uncovered playing Cyber Rats. It is XCOM, but with rat mutants. And then we decided we were going to make it emotional. So it's been really good. And you should watch it because it's been a ton of fun. Yeah, so that's me. I've got other stuff, but that's like future me shit. Don't even worry about it.
Except keep your eyes open for it because it's all going to be good.
Obviously, right. I do be on Twitter these days, so yeah, like watch out there or something.
Dell.
Hello, I am Dell, Digital Crow. I've been playing Luca, the fabulous Spartoy who doesn't know about feelings, is definitely an idiot, and may or may not be questioning, once again, their existence, as they often have been for the last few, I don't know, when did we start this game?
14 episodes ago.
You can find me on Twitter, probably sometimes, at digitalcrow_Dell. You can find me on Discord as Digital Crow's Gay Panic. I am mostly here. I'm working on a lot of projects, but none of which are out. I run games, I make games, I play games.
And they're all awesome. Rev.
Hey, I'm Rev, and I write games for Thought Punks. You can find us on Dice Camp and Twitter and Spoutable as Thought Punks. Pretty straightforward. And yeah, this was just a super fun session. It was super fun having a less confident, like little grumpy moment for oldie, not just the morning grump, but the sort of like showing some awkwardness and vulnerability on his part was kind of fun, because he does put on a little bit more confidence than he may actually possess. And I love the Forge Daddy thing, but oh my goodness, it's just yeah, all the gnomes are dead now. There's nothing to stop that from coming out except for the last one who's valiantly trying. And I just want to throw also a quick shout out to Cyber Rats. It is a super great game, and you can find Cyber Rats Alex Reinhardt _ Reinhardt is RINEHART, and he makes Cyber Rats, and he's an awesome guy, and it's a great game. So
Cool. Justina.
Hi, I'm Justina. You can find me on Twitter under Justina Revolution. Coming up, I will be running the next episode of
Oh my
The
god.
World Ended Today. which is written in Fudge, one of my favorite games by Stefan O'Sullivan. So yeah, anyway, that's me. I played Florenta, and the whole Forge Daddy thing is gonna live rent-free in my head for a long, long time.
Forever. Also, I'm in the world end today. I'm so sorry. I was
gonna call you out about it.
I'm silly goose. I can't help it. I'm a silly goose.
You're fine. You've got your own stuff you're running. It happens.
Ugh. So much happening. Sorry, carry on.
All right, Lion, I'm assuming you're going to want to go last.
Yeah.
All right. I have been Jack the Giant Killer, Jack Gogsbane on Twitter. You can find me all over the place. I very recently put out a new supplement called The Canon of the Void, which is a really horrific cult for D&D 5e. I'm also putting out a whole bunch of new cosmic horror critters for use in D&D, Pathfinder, Mutants and Masterminds, GURPS, any number of things, and I'm putting those out to everybody for free. You can find them on my website. And I have to blame Justina for getting me started on the whole cosmic horror kick, partially at least with her inspired take on the Beholder, which, I'm stealing some of for my much cooler than the Beholder witnesses. All right. Anyway,
Yes, Puckwatty.
That's who I am. That's what I do. I run this game. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. But more important than me is the guy who makes this whole thing go. Lion Knight!
That's me. Hi, I'm Lion. I am the head for Tales from the Table Studios. This has been great, and thank you so much for hanging out with us, chat, for being here and being a part of this, to you amazing cast for being a part of this game. We've got so much more awesome stuff ahead of us, which I'm really excited for. This is it for us this week, but we'll be back on Monday with a new episode of A Crumbling Foundation, an SCP-themed actual play. Then we'll be back Tuesday with The World Ended Today, and then on Friday we'll be here with Life on the Periphery, a game based on and running along the same timeline as The Expanse. The Expanse. I can say words. I'm very tired today, if you can't tell. The Expanse, and it's all great stuff. Every one of those shows, we got a whole bunch of different flavors. Come check them out. Also, at the end of the month on the 27th, we're going to be running our second episode of Dinosaur Wizards in Space with Rev. Am I pointing right this way? This one right here. Amazing. It's a lighthearted, fun, excellent, amazing game. Come check it out. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. It's going to be great. All of these things are great. And I am absolutely honored to be able to do all of this stuff and present it to y'all and to help out with getting this out. We have a Discord. If you're interested in talking to us, letting us know what you thought about tonight, want to talk more about how Abellus is a sulky, complainy, guy.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Whiny
that's
little
the
devil
one.
man. Yeah.
Whiny little devil man. You can do that. If you want to come talk about Forge Daddy, you could do that too. Anything that you would like, we're around. Every single person is here. Absolutely. And 100% someone is probably going to be getting a fancy Discord flare that says Forge Daddy soon. So we'll see how that goes. But
Will we get to see his hammer? That's all I ask.
That's the special OnlyFans content.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh.
Maybe
It is
one
a
day
very powerful, very large hammer, even though he is one hand.
they got it locked down. Anyway,
Comparable to size or more than average?
Oh no, it's definitely oversized. It's not like Thor's Mjolnir. It has a properly long handle.
they got this. It's fine. But come hang out on Discord. As you can see, we're a barrel up, so come hang out with us. We're always there. We're always talking. If we're not there, we'll get back to you. Ping us if you don't see us immediately. We're around. There's a lot of really great people on there. It's a cool, growing community with some awesome stuff. And it's the best place to stay up to date with Days of Tales 2, because we're running Days of Tales 2. After Days of Tales back in August, where we raised $1,600+ for the National Network of Abortion Funds, we're running Days of Tales 2 next month. the 24th through the 26th, we're going to be running 36 hours of games, panels, giveaways, and more cool stuff, raising money for the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI. They're amazing. Our forums are open now. We're doing casting calls. If you're interested in being a part of that, check it out. They just dropped in the chat. Click on the link. Go sign up. We're looking for GMs. We're looking for players. We're looking for anyone who's interested in being involved in any way. Let us know. Signups are still open for one more week. They're going to close not this upcoming Monday, but the next Monday after that. Then we'll be reaching out to people and be setting everything up. All of our games are going to include a session 0, safety tools, and everything else that you need to feel comfortable, be ready, and have fun while we raise money for a great cause. So please come be a part of that. If you're not interested in being on camera, that's cool. Come tell people about it, hang out in our chat, enjoy the games, enjoy the stories, enjoy what we're doing. Don't be afraid to donate some. That's also super cool because that's why we're all coming together. Whew, we have a Ko-Fi. You can support us on there too if you would like. We have a bunch of different membership tiers with a bunch of different cool stuff going on over there. Check it out. We also post a lot of free stuff, updates about plans for the studio, shows that we have upcoming, shows that are ongoing, and it's the only place where you can find the post-show shows that we put up once a month for every one of our shows, where you will get a backstage look at why we've done the things we've done, what the players are feeling, what the characters are thinking, what our favorite moments are, what our least favorite moments are, and more. So check all that out. We have a YouTube. Go check out our YouTube. It's an archive. It's got all the cool stuff. It also has a bunch of interviews from a series that I run called Roll for Perspective, where I sit down with some amazing people, including, Jack, who has been running this phenomenal game for us, where we talk a lot about world building. There's a lot of other episodes as well, and more to come. So go check that out as well. I think at this point I've said everything I need to say. So we're going to get going. But before we do, remember, take care of yourself. Love yourself. Always remember,